Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you. This is very special a day for me. My wife, she did remind me this morning. She said, "Curtis, we've been married 45 years, so don't get up there and mess it up again today." So, so I want to get that right. And my oldest grandson, Miles, when my son told him that the building's going to be named after me, he said, "Does that mean that I'm going to be captain of the building?" Hey, and I'm here to tell you, yes, sir, you can be captain of the. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people here would love you to be captain of the building. This is again a very interesting day for me, and I never aspired to achieve such a goal. I never thought a lot about that. This morning, as I was getting dressed, I thought about my mixed feelings and why I never thought about having anything like this happening. I just never thought in those terms, and I wondered why. And I think I came to a really interesting conclusion that a lot of you might be able to recognize. I remember a young man growing up in Texas, and sometimes in my neighborhood for Christmas or some interesting event, some young kid would come along with a new bicycle. And those of us who couldn't afford a bicycle would say something like, "Well, I don't like riding bicycles. I don't like riding bicycles." Or, or anything else that may have been out of reach for that family or that young person. They would say, "I don't like doing that. I don't want to do that." And perhaps part of me was saying, "I don't want to be rejected, so don't ask me. And I'm not going to ask you to name anything in my honor." And maybe that's what I was dealing with. And I thought about that early this morning because contrary to what we often say, and those that say they don't want to be validated, it's not true. All of us, in some way, every single day, want to be validated. We want to be told that we're okay. And I had a fourth grade teacher. To this day, I remember that fourth grade teacher who said to me, "Curtis, you're okay. You're okay." You know, it's not about material things. It's not about being rich. It's about the ability to love and about the ability to care. There are a lot of people here I would love to recognize because there's so many people here that certainly I would want to acknowledge and let you know how much I love you and how much I care that you're here. Certainly I would recognize my minister, Reverend Jared. Would you stand, please, Reverend Jared? And so many others here today. And you all know Reverend Holly has loved this college and loved being here. And but I want to just say a word about a person who I've long admired and has been a good friend for years, but I've not had a chance to see him much in recent years, but I got a call not too long ago, and he said, "Curtis, let's meet for lunch. I want to talk to you." And when we met, he said, "Look, I want to talk, but I want to talk about what I can do to help you." He said that you are doing a great job there at the college, but I want to be a part of helping you. Not ask everything, I just want to help you because the college is so important. And that's my good friend, Dennis Archer Jr. Would you stand, Dennis? And I thought I knew everybody, but Dennis has had and invited me to more meetings and more to meet with more corporate leaders and others in the last couple of months than one might imagine. I don't know how to articulate this experience. I don't know that there are words to help me articulate this experience. But I can perhaps articulate or attempt to articulate what it would mean for my father and mother if they were here. This would be a proud day for them, a proud day. And they're looking from someplace and saying to me, Curtis, a job well done. And I have this thing I like to say often is that we just got to make the people proud. And that's been what we've been about every single day. How do we make you proud? How do we make you proud? A young lady stopped me in the hallway several years ago walking through the building, and she said to several young ladies, Dr. Ivery, we love you, we love you. That was before the Me Too movement, however. Just for the record. We love you. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Oh, the new furniture in the classrooms, the new furniture, and the bathrooms are awesome. Think about that. Think about that. See, our students come to us for all kinds of reasons. And we're here to respond, and we're for them. My mother taught me to love my grandchildren, reinforced that. They taught me to care. They taught me to continue to want to learn. And they, more than anything else, put love in perspective. I used to say to Tina before I had my grandchildren, she'd say, you're going to have grandchildren. I said, I'm not going to get caught up into that. I don't, I got, I'm going to let the parents handle that. Man, those kids looked up at me and smiled, and that was it. It was over. I was ready to throw the kids out and date the grandkids. I mean, they make life worth living. But my mother taught me so much about love, and she had a way of doing it in the most practical way. I'd run home sometimes, and 3 or 4 guys would be after me, and just a few minutes before I got home, they had caught me and gave me a pretty good whipping. But I got home and I thought I was pretty safe and I didn't have to run anymore. She said, "What are those boys doing out in the yard?" I said, they're pretty radical, Mom. You need to go out and talk to them. My mother was pretty practical. She said, "Boy, go outside and tell those boys you love them." I said, "Do what?" She said, "No, go out there and tell them you love them and you understand that they may be a little upset about something, but you still love them." She said, "Because you're going out of here, you're not going to stay in here." So I went back out and I told them that I loved them. Now, I'm not going to tell you the consequences of that. But I did learn a little bit about that, Sometimes it works. But she taught me so much about caring for people, and that people, she said, Curtis, people are not, there's no such thing as a bad person. They're not bad people out there. They're just not. She said, sometimes people have lost their way, but they're not bad people. And I so fundamentally believe that. I have no capacity to hold anger. I don't know what that means. I can't do that because I believe that we're all trying. We're all trying to make a difference. And sometimes we get there in circuitous routes, but we still are trying, and we want to make a commitment. You're not here to hurt anybody. It's not what we do. And when you get to that point, you know, you probably need more help than I'm going to be able to give you. But that's not what I find in people, and my mother taught me that. My father taught me what it meant to work. So he taught me a little bit about the work ethic. He taught me to understand the dignity of work, that, you know, that's what can make you proud. I can never remember my father missing a day at work. Never, never. No matter how cold it was, and people talk about getting colder. People, you don't know what cold is. Cold is until you go to Amarillo, Texas. It's flat. There's nothing. Wind comes, snow comes. We had more snow in Amarillo, Texas sometimes than you have here in I should say, we have here in Detroit. But my father was just a wonderful, wonderful person, and wow, I can't tell you what interesting this is. And believe me, this is not about me. This is so much larger than me. It's so much larger than my board, who are wonderful people. So much larger than my faculty. Our faculty and the staff, they're committed people. They understand what it means to be there for our students. This is about doing the right thing. It's about institutions, because institutions define the community. It's about our grandchildren. It's about the legacy that we leave. It's about what this touches all of us. Touches all of us, and we're going to continue to work to make you proud. This is certainly a proud day for you, for me, but I can tell you it's a proud day for you as well. And we are, in every generation needs its prophets, those with a vision, those wanting to make a difference. But there are many people, the prophet is not me. The visionary is not me. It's you. You're the dream makers. You make a difference. And believe me, the young people hear you. They know your commitment. They know your heart. And let me say this, there's not a place in the country that has more love for education than the people in Detroit. There was never any doubt in my mind about the ability to pass a millage and a permanent millage, because you have a generation of people now, adults, parents, who spend so many, many years in the plants working hard to educate their children. Detroit, special. You invented the middle class. You have made a difference over and over and over again. And the country looks to the city. And we're a barometer, because people want to know what we're doing. I have no problem getting people to come to Detroit. I can ask anybody to come to Detroit, and they want to come because the rich history and the things that we've accomplished, the things that we're accomplishing now with John Graves, with the driverless vehicles, the Rainbow Push, and the students that we're going to work with this summer is just unbelievable. And I could go on and on and on. And let me say this, though. I had a friend, classmate, call me last night, and my wonderful wife wanted to know who I was talking to and laughing so hard. She knew that it was a female. I could tell. I just instinctively knew that she knew that. But this was a young lady that I knew in high school years ago, and she got an invitation some kind of way. I have no idea how she got the invitation. Do we, Julie? she said, I'm just calling to make sure you're not dead. I got this invitation, but most often people are dead when you get these kind of invitations. Are you sure you're Curtis Ivery? I said, yes, I'm Curtis Ivery. And so we had a lot of fun, and they number of them had a number of calls actually. This is a very important evening, and in my quiet moments, I'll look back and think about this moment that you've given me, and I will see your faces. I will see your faces, and remember that it's people like you who make dreams come true. Thank you.